All right, let's finish up Return of the Living Dead with Return of the Living Dead Rave to the Grave. Dance till you drop dead. It's I like the premise. Like I think it's a fun premise for like a horror comedy that's based on this popular franchise and whatever. That they've already kind of done the same thing a few times. Taking the trioxin and making it into like an ecstasy pill and calling it Z and all that. It's clever. It's a really fun idea. I really like it. It is executed extremely poor. So it's not all terrible, but it's pretty bad. Like I would never watch this again. This is me telling myself in the future, if I'm looking back on this, being like, should I check this out again? No, you shouldn't. No, Jason, please do not. Now, this one is kind of similar to Return of the Living Dead 1 and 2, whereas the last one used certain actors, and they use them again here, and they're playing the same characters. They have the same names, they have the same, attributes, all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, they have they don't know what happened in the last movie, so this is set in a different universe. In fact, the trioxin thing, they don't even know what it is. So they don't even know like what zombies are. In the last one, they were well aware that zombies had existed at one point. So this is a completely different timeline, completely different universe, completely different dimension, whatever the hell you want to say. So it's like the first and the second one in that way, where you have reoccurring actors playing very similar characters, but in completely different films. So I'm sure that they did that just as a nod to the first and second, but I mean, unfortunately, the movie is just not good at all, so that really brings it down. Now, we've got Uncle Charles here from the last movie, and he is selling the last barrel of trioxin. In the last movie, he was trying to get it. This one, he's selling it. And there's these... I think one of the things that really hurt this film is like these Interpol agents or whatever they are. I don't exactly know what they are. They say that's what they are, but I don't know if that's just a cover. They kind of come off as hitmen at first. I think that's what they're posing as. They're like undercover maybe. It doesn't really matter. But those guys have a lot of screen time, and every time they're on screen, it just kind of bogs the film down because their characters are supposed to be funny, and they're just not funny. And they spend way too much time on them, and it like any chance this film had of being interesting, I feel like was hurt by those random characters that they shouldn't have really had in the film, to be honest. Like the kids should have handled this on their own. They could have had the government knowing about it and trying to come after them. And you could even have these kinds of characters, but obviously you would have had to write them better. It just didn't work. It was a bad decision, and it hurt the film. In addition to the film not being all that great anyways, that really was kind of like the final nail in the coffin. We get a really cool eye-popping scene here. Like they snatch the guy's head and his eyes pop out of his face. Pretty cool. I like that kill. And in this one, the main character cares that his uncle died. So he has, there's no memory, there's no, it's weird because he still lives with his uncle, I think. So it's interesting. It's a parallel universe, right? I'll get over it. All right. There's gratuitous nudity in this movie. There you go. There's why I'm even giving it a half of a tiny, like almost like this is my thumbs up for this movie. It's like not all the way down. It's not even middle. It's just kind of like, and that's probably all due to the nudity and that eye-popping scene. And so they make a drug out of it called Z, as I said, and one of the kids just like they take it to their scientist friend, which is played by one of the characters from the last movie, and he, guesses that this drug has these kinds of components and that it's similar to ecstasy, and his friend just takes a little drop and just like puts it on his tongue before, the guy's like, it's okay, you shouldn't do that, whatever, and he's just like, screw it. the kids in this movie, I mean, kids are dumb. They, you know, college kids especially, they will do, and high school kids, I guess, but they'll do any drug. Like, they're just out of their fucking minds. They think they're invincible. They find out that there's a drug that can be, you know, the new designer drug on the market, and they just got to try it. They just got to put it in their body and hope for the best. And that's, I don't know, especially this kid who's taking it before anyone's even taking it. This like DJ guy, oh, his character's so annoying. But yeah, he just takes it, and then he has this like near-death experience that's like mixed with an ecstasy high, and he's just like, hell yeah, man, I want to do it again. And of course, eventually, it ends up killing him anyways. So you get the high first, and then later, like a day and a half later, he ends up dying from it anyway. So like once it's in your system, you're screwed. It's just smaller doses take a lot longer, and I guess you get a high off of it as well, which we definitely never saw in the other movies. And one of the lines I really liked in here is when the guys are trying to buy drugs from that drug dealer guy, and you know, they're like, I don't know, man, like, you trying to sell us this, or, you know, are you sure it's safe? And he's like, hey man, if you can't trust your drug dealer, who can you trust? I thought that was a pretty funny line. And I get, yeah, like, if you take one hit of this stuff, you're fine. I mean, you eventually will die, but so I guess you're not fine, but you're fine for the moment. If you take 3 hits all at the same time, you die instantly and come right back. And when his friends are chasing him as zombies, I have to believe that he was just thinking, hopefully in the back of his head, he was thinking like, my friends are, you know, my friends probably aren't like this. I'm just tripping on these drugs. I would hope, I would think that would be what he was hoping, but clearly that's not. Another couple good kills here. They attack this band, and the guy sticks his drumsticks through one of the zombies' eyes, and the other guy, such a ridiculous kill, takes his guitar and hits the zombie, and his whole head just decapitates like right off his body. A guitar, man, talk about an axe. Oh man, this chick who's poisoning the lab rats just because she wants to see, like, one rablat is, oh my god, I can't say that word, holy shit. Lab rat, what the fuck? Whoa, tongue twister for me, I guess. But her poisoning those lab rats, what a bitch. And he's just like, no, not, you know, not Mr. Stinky or something. And he's like, that's, you know, he's a genius and leave him alone. And then she's like, fine. He turns his back, and she just poisons the fucking thing anyways. Like, the first 2 wasn't good enough, and then that ends up getting that dude killed. So unfair, so unfair. We get a girl who turns into a zombie and bites a dude's dick off during a blowjob. Pretty standard fare. I mean, we've seen that so many times at this point. We get a tar man of sorts in this movie that comes out of the barrel, and pretty much all he does is, instead of trying to attack anybody, he's used for comedic purposes so that he can stand on the side of the road with a sign that says, like, rave or bust, and he's trying to hitchhike to the rave that's going on. It was pretty funny. The first time I saw it, I was like, it's kind of silly. But like, it's played again at the end for a while, and then he like walks off into the sunset. I don't know. That's kind of funny. I think that maybe if the film was better, and that was like the ending of it, it might have worked, but because I was so done with the film at that point, I was just like, like, I don't care. Even if this is kind of cute, kind of silly, like, I don't give a shit. You guys have lost me a long time ago. I like how one of the Interpol agents, if that's what he is holding his gun, like gangster style, like to the side. And like, I'm pretty sure an agent of the government would not be holding their gun like that. Blah, blah, blah. I like how the Interpol guys they take the chicks' costumes. Like, there's all sorts of people. That was kind of funny that they just grabbed these Viking women outfits, and then that was just an excuse to get those girls to run back and be like, they stole our outfits, and their tits are out, and they're like, and they run off and they're jiggling around. As I said, I'm not going to complain about that because it was really one of the only good parts. It's just girls randomly flashing and all this stuff, and I was like, thank you. And we even see a naked devil woman in this. One of the guys, like the drug dealers, tripping so hard he sees a naked devil. Okay, was that supposed to be? That's a trip, I'm guessing. That's not him actually seeing anything like I'm about to die, I'm seeing a devil. That's the hottest devil I ever saw. And I like how the guy is trying to get everyone out of the way so that he can get a clean shot. This is actually a pretty funny scene. And he fires the gun. It's a revolver with only 6 shots. He fires the gun into the air 4 times. You wasted 4 of your fucking bullets before then you proceeded to try to kill the zombie that's in front of you, and there's multiple other zombies. You think 1 would have been enough? 1 shot in the air, I think everyone would have dispersed and you would have been able to possibly get your shot. But even after 4 shots wasted, then he tries to line his shot up and shoot the fucking zombie, and a dude runs in front of it. I don't know why he ran in front of him, but he's frantic. He doesn't know where he's going. He runs in front. He's probably stoned out of his mind on Z. And he shoots him in the chest, and he's like, oops, I hope he was a zombie. Reminds me of the episode of The Simpsons, one of the Treehouses of Horror. One of my favorite lines, one of my favorite moments in The Simpsons ever was in one of the Treehouse of episodes where Homer gets a shotgun and there's a zombie outbreak and he's shooting zombies down. And then Ned comes around and he's like, "Hi-dily-do," you know, whatever. And Homer blows him away. And he's a zombie. You know, Ned Flanders is a zombie, but they're like, "Dad, you killed the zombie Flanders." And he was like, "He was a zombie?" I don't know why that line back in the day killed me, but just kind of reminded me of that. Made me smile. Just, you know, when you have to reflect back on shows you haven't seen, like an episode of a show you haven't seen in 20 years to get a smile from this movie. Ooh, man, that's stretching. That's stretching. So, and bomb party. What the hell? I don't even know what that is. Sometimes I write down things and I can't remember. I've said that a few times and I'm just like, okay, sure, why not? They bomb the party. There we go. Yeah, another, like, they drop a bomb on the party to clean up their mess, like the first movie, except for this bomb's nowhere near as big. And yeah, I think that's it. So not a lot to say about this one. I talked for Necropolis. I talked for like 27 minutes. And I remember liking this one more than Necropolis, and I have to say, I liked this one less. So this is why we rewatch, people, because our memories are, you know, I probably just was like all high on all the naked chicks when I first saw this. Who knows? I remember liking this more. I didn't think I loved it or really enjoyed it or anything. I just remember being like, that was okay. So when people are like, it's dog shit, it's the worst movie ever. And as I said before, like, comparing it to the original 3, this is terrible. But as its own standalone little sci-fi movie, it's, there's a couple things and you're just like, okay, it's kind of passable. And it's not so bad that it's just like, shut this fucking shit off. It's kind of just like, okay, like, okay, all right, it's over. Okay. Like, that's just kind of how I was throughout the whole thing. So anyway, that's it. Return of the Living Dead. Over. That was pretty, I usually do things. I've been slowing down a lot lately. I got so many other things I've been doing. So I've only been doing 1 a day, which is plenty. Okay. But I'm used to doing like 2, 3 a day. I would have been able to knock this out in like 2 days. It took me 5 days this time. 6, I think. No, like 7, because I did Monster Monday and Slasher Sunday in between when I did. Jesus, all over the list. Anyways, I'm just rambling on, wasting your time. So, all right. I'm not sure what I'm going to do next. I'll figure it out. All right.